Hey YouTube, it's Monica, and today I'm going to give you a preview into Right Start Math Level G. I don't know about you, but when I spend $100 on a curriculum, I kind of want to see what's in it before I buy it. So today is your chance to flip through Right Start Math Level G and to see what's in it. It's just like you came over to my house and flipped through. I'm going to go through it fairly slowly. Not too slow. The idea is that you can kind of skip forward, pause when you need to, and really see what it's all about. There's basically a lot of geometry in it. It's meant to be student-led, which is cool. It has the lessons, it has the worksheets, and the solutions. So without further ado, here goes. So here's what you get with Right Start Math Level G. So you are going to get, let's start here. You get the lessons. You get the solutions. You really do need both. And then the worksheets are separate. Very cool thing about the worksheets is they are in a binder, so you can take them out and make copies. And this does not come with a packet. This you would buy separately. And this is very handy. It has a lot of great games. A lot of them are actually pretty fun. So I would recommend getting it. So let's just start by going through the lessons. So here you go. You got your lessons. Okay. So here's your table of contents. It's actually pretty long. There's a lot of lessons. Let's see. There are how many? Okay. There's 130 lessons. So that gives you an idea of how often they expect you to be doing this. A lot of schools do 180-day school years, so they kind of almost expect you to be doing this every day. And there you have that. There's just a lot, as you will see. Try not to, I'll point on this side. There's a triangles, parallelograms, converting inches to centimeters, rectangles, rhombuses, squares, quadrilaterals. So in Right Start Math, this is level G, they have already been doing a lot of this stuff. This is not new. None of this is new. And that is the good thing about Right Start Math is there is so much repetition, but it's good. It's not too much. Angles in a polygon, measuring angles. We have trapezoids, rounding, area parallelogram, area rectangle. I mean, they're basically beating the area thing to death, but your kid's going to remember it. Triangles with congruent sides, medians and triangles, rectangles inscribed in a triangle. The interesting thing about this is there's just a lot of different ways of looking at things, and you really start to understand things well. All right, so drawing stars. Again, it really gets them working with shapes. It does a lot of this. Okay? We have equilateral triangles cut into halves. I'm just going to flip and not do so much commentary. I'm not necessarily going to go through every single page because it's going to take too long. I'm just sort of go through, and you can pause where you want, just so you get an idea. here they're doing Pythagorean Theorem, and they're explaining it in a way that's common, I have learned, but I did not learn when I was in school. And just by going over this with my kids, which I have already done in Right Start Math at least twice up to this point, and it has helped me tremendously. Now I have no problem understanding the theorem. The square root spiral. That looks really cool. I mean, this is neat to me, is because this is what they try to do in Right Start Math. They try to bring math into nature, like help them see the connection between math and nature and math in everyday life. Like you've got these sort of patterns like stairs and you know, when we first started doing circumscribed shapes, you know, you tend to think, oh, my kid has to know it. No, they don't. When you're doing Right Start Math, they don't have to know it the first time or the second time. It is repeated so many times, they're going to know what they need to know. So here now we have the worksheets. So, I mean, they pretty much go right along with the lessons. So they give you this. I don't know if you really need it. Kind of humorous, actually. So they just have them use their skills that they learn from the lessons, really. Draw 3 different parallelograms on the dotted line, each having a perimeter of 18 centimeters. Cool. They just have them work so much with all different shapes and the properties of the shapes. It's basically what this level is all about. And if you listened to my videos before, you will know that I also have them do a more traditional book alongside. So right now my son is doing a lot of stuff with like fractions and decimals and stuff, just to get really solid in those things before we move on. area of the parallelograms. Find the area of the triangle. Use 3 different ways. If you had 18 centimeters of fencing for your pet ladybug and wanted a rectangular pen, what should be the dimensions of the pen to give you the most area for the ladybug to play in? So we've done problems like this before. Basically, it has to be more of a square, as close to a square as possible. So I know this only from doing Right Start Math, and I'm sure my son does not remember, but with all the repetition, like I said, they start to remember. Just a lot of working with those shapes. Here we're going over some terms: vertex, midpoint, perimeter, area, numerator, parallelogram, polygon, altitude, square inch, denominator, and formula. Find the area of these hexagons. So I guess you'd find the area of the 2 trapezoids, or you would find the area of all the... So they're helping you use different ways to find areas of hexagons. That's cool. I swear this is just like a fun lesson, you know, it's like drawing a star. But again, they're playing with the different shapes. Oh, this is nice. You know, and again, the kids have been doing equilateral, isosceles, saline, triangles for, let's see, F, definitely in level F, they're working with all of this stuff. So this is not new at all. I mean, it's just repeated so much, but in different ways. So it doesn't feel like you're doing the same thing all the time, but there's definitely a lot of repetition. Yeah, this sort of stuff's always nice. Understanding how the angles work when you have parallel lines and you know that this angle is the same as this angle and this angle. Well, that line doesn't go through well. Anyway, it's good stuff. This is good stuff too. Like if the area of triangle AEC equals 24 meters squared, what is the area of triangle CEG? It's just getting them thinking. There's just a lot of thinking, which really is what math should be about. It's just teaching you to use that noggin. There we go, our Pythagorean theorem here. More Pythagorean theorem. Just keeps switching just to keep me on my toes. I think somebody needed to be a little more consistent with their layouts. Well, if that's the worst thing I can say about the program, I think they're doing okay. A lot of figuring out area of different shapes. I'm sort of skipping at this point because there are so many. If you guys have any questions, just ask me in the comments. I'll do my best to answer. What in the heck are they doing here? Let's see what this is. Draw these 2 highway signs. The dimensions given in millimeters are shown in the small figures. The points are the centers of the arcs. Okay. I'm just trying to get them to apply their knowledge. That's always fun. This is interesting. Find the price per square centimeter in tenths of a cent for each piece of lefse. Each piece of lefse. I'm not sure what lefse is, and I know what a lot of things are. Okay, imagine it is some bread. So they want them to construct these images, and basically so they can figure out how to measure the angles and everything and then replicate it, which is pretty cool. Same idea here. There's a whole lot talking about lines of symmetry and points of symmetry. Still more, and I skipped like quite a few pages. More lines of symmetry. Lines of reflection. Match the following terms with the correct definition. Centroid, and we just did centroid at the end of level F. Or maybe it was the very beginning of level G, actually. Hypotenuse, congruent, rectangle, trapezoid, isosceles triangle, so all those things. The cool thing about this, man, you don't need to test them. You just go through the process and they really will remember. Except for, like I've said many times before, some of that just extra practice with multiplication, division, fractions, decimals. But as far as all of these terms and the thinking and the angles, man, they go over it so much. You don't need to worry about it. That's it. And real briefly, let's look at just so you get an idea. This is the solutions book, and it literally has like a copy of the worksheets, and then, well, with the solutions actually, and it has notes down here. Oh, it's cool, dictionary terms. And we just started using this, so this is still kind of new to me too. Here's your worksheet with all the answers on it. This is cool. Notes, dictionary terms, and extra things you need to know, which could probably just be under notes, but very neat. This is actually much more thorough than the previous levels as far as what they give you for the solutions. I don't know if I should say thorough, but I don't know. It's just clearer because it's printed so much bigger. I like the layout better. So we already went through the worksheets. Like I said, this is just the solutions. It just gives you an idea of what it looks like. Very cool. Lastly, I will just give you a little peek at this Math Card Games book. It does not come with Right Start Level G. You have to buy it separately, but Right Start Level G does tell you to do games from this book. So, I mean, we're talking about games for younger kids, like with addition games, it says up there. So all this A is A for addition. Multiplication games, money games, division, fractions, and fractions. So I think the level G does more of the fraction games. That's about it. Oh, it does give you a little section in the back where you can make copies. So you can make copies and like cut these out and use them for some of the games. There's different things. So that's about it. I hope that was helpful. If you like this video, please click thumbs up. If you want to see more videos like this, please click subscribe and the notification bell. In the meantime, happy homeschooling and have a great day.